Good afternoon. My name is Linda. I'm here with Eliona and Mrs. Mercy Mbewe. Hopefully after this brief chat, we will all be able to use Moodle to supervise our research projects. Okay, at this point, I am assuming that we are all able to log into Moodle. And if that's the case, we've logged into Moodle and we are looking at the home page, or at least what I would call the home page. Once we've done that, your course coordinator, if you are not a course coordinator, will have already added you to a research project module, which you should be able to see beneath your courses. So my courses will have that research project module to which you have been added. Okay. In my case, I am using someone else's module to talk to you, and it is BCS 404F. So I have clicked on that course. When you have clicked on the course, you need to look on your left-hand side, and at the top you will see participants. I would like you to click on participants. It will be good if, as I am talking, you're actually practicing this, because then it makes better sense. Okay, so we've clicked on participants, and we should be able to see all the participants that are configured to this course. So at this point, you will then need, if you are a course coordinator, you will need to enroll other teachers or lecturers onto this particular research project module. And on your right hand side, you will see the option to enroll users. I would like you then to click on enroll users. When you see the dialog box that comes up, at the top there you will see it gives you the option to select users. You can search for whoever the lecturer is, as long as you know what their username is. In my case, I am with Eliona here. I know that she is e.kapapa. So when you type that into the search box, she should come up, and beneath that you need to assign a role to that lecturer, and the role should be that of a teacher. So I have selected the role teacher, and e.kapapa is the user that I would like to enroll to this particular module. At the bottom there you will see enroll users. I would like you to click there. Okay, so Eliona is now one of the lecturers or teachers on this course. Okay, having done that, I will just use Eliona as our example. I will go back up and look at the gear button. That's what I call it. I am not IT, and I'm not a specialist in IT, so let's call it a gear or a settings icon. Click on it, and if you scroll down, you will see the option for groups. I would like you to click on groups. When you have clicked on groups, and remember, we are talking to the course coordinators at this point. So on your left hand side, you will see a box for, in my case, I've created some groups already, so you can see some groups in there. But if there are no groups whatsoever, you scroll down until you get to create a group. You click on create group. When you've done that, it asks you for a group name, a group ID number, the group description. In this case, I will simply put the name Team Kapapa. That simply means this is the group where Eliona is going to function from when supervising her students. Okay, so Team Kapapa, and if we want to enable group messaging, we can do that. As we scroll downwards, we will find that option. You can simply click there and choose yes. If at all you wanted to hide a picture or put a picture Alongside this group, you could put Eliona's picture there. In this case, I'm not putting any picture. So I simply scroll further down and save the changes. Okay, Team Kapapa already exists. So I will create Team Kapapa 1. And save changes, and it has accepted Team Kapapa 1. Okay, so you can go on with all your other teachers or lecturers on that module. You can create a group for each one. So in this case, I've got Team Hamwemba, Team Kalaluka, Team Kapapa, Team Mbewe, Team Musendo. Okay, so those are my groups. Now, of course, if you look at those groups that you will have created, they will have 0 at the end of the name of the group. That is to say that there are no members in that group at that particular point in time. So, as the course coordinator, you need to assign members to each team. So, on your right-hand side, you will see add or remove users at the bottom of the box on your right-hand side. So first of all, you will click on one of the group names. In this case, I will click Team Kapapa 1. Okay. And when I've done that, I will click the add or remove users option. And it will give me all the potential members on the right-hand side. Using the control button, you can keep your finger on the control button. You can click on Kapapa, who is going to be the teacher for this group, and you can click on whichever students she is supervising that appear there. In this case, I've assigned 2 students to her, and then in the middle you will see the option to add, which you should click on, and Kapapa and the 2 students can now be seen on your left hand side. If at all you've added someone erroneously, you can do the same thing, highlight whoever you have added that you shouldn't have added, and remove the same way that we have added. Okay, so we go back to groups. And now you will see that when you click on Team Kapapa, you can see that she is the teacher and she has 2 students that she will be supervising. Okay, now that we have created our groups for all your lecturers who are supervising, and at this point you will have assigned all the students that each lecturer is supervising under this particular module, we will now create a submission assignment for students to submit their chapters for the research project. Okay. I hope you do remember how to create an assignment. If you do not, simply go back to the dashboard. The dashboard is your central navigation. So in case you feel lost at any point in time, go back to the dashboard. Okay. And I will click on the module, the same module again, because that is where I want to create the assignment. Make sure you go to the gear button on your right hand side, top right hand side, turn the editing on option on. So you click on turn editing on. Once you've done that, you are able to add an activity or a resource. So you can go to topic 1 or topic 2 or topic 3. In this case, I am going to topic 3 because I've already created 2 assignments prior to talking to you. So under topic 3, I will click on add an activity or a resource, and I will select assignment. And when I've selected assignment is the first option under an activity or resource. I will then click on add. Okay, I will give this assignment the name thesis chapter 3. And in my description, I will simply say this assignment requires you to submit chapter 3. Okay. I've typed my description. Always tick on display description on course page so that the students can see the description for your assignment. Okay. If you scroll further down, you will find availability. This has to do with the actual submission. So once again, we will find we allow submissions from which date, when is the due date, and so forth. Those are the two most important. So you allow submissions from the day you create the assignment, and always tick enable. Okay. Then for the due date, if you have clicked on enable, if it's for some reason unticked, select the due date. In this case, I will select 15th of April. Okay, midnight. Right. I will not bother with a cutoff date at this point. It's not really necessary. Remind me to grade by, I'm not really bothered with that, but if you want a reminder, please go ahead and enable that and indicate a date so that you are reminded to mark this assignment. Again, always show description and then scroll down to the submission types. Under submission types, choose the file submissions if it is not the default on your laptop or desktop for any reason. So it's a file submission and a maximum number of uploaded files. I will allow students to submit thrice, 3 times only. In case they got it wrong or they want to correct something, they can resubmit. Okay. I will keep the maximum submission size, which is 700 megabytes. Of course, I do not expect any chapter to be 700 megabytes. I will also choose the type of file. And in this case, it's a document file. So I will click on document file and scroll down and save that change. So click on save changes. Okay. Feedback types. You can indicate feedback comments. That's fine. Comment inline, I would keep it as no. Move to submission settings. Submission settings. The first option there requires students to click the submit button. I would definitely say yes. They need to click on the submit button. The second option requires that students accept the submission statement. I would again click on yes. Students need to be able to declare that the work they are submitting is their own. Okay. Attempts reopened. I would put automatically until pass. There are 3 options there. There's never, manually, and automatically until pass. Okay. So I have given them automatically until pass. The maximum number of attempts I will keep at 3. And I will move further down. Each individual submits an individual chapter, so I will do nothing to do with, I will not click on group submission settings. I will ignore that. I will go to notifications. I want to be notified when there are submissions, so I will choose yes as opposed to no. And notify graders about late submissions. I doubt I will allow any late submissions. And the system defaults with a no. Okay. If you want to do set anything to do with grading, you can go ahead and click on grades. But since they are submitting chapters at this point, I will not bother with the grade. Is there anything under common module settings? Apart from the availability, which should always show on course page, I will not tamper with that. That's the default. I will move on to restrict access. This is an interesting option because at this point in my case, they should have already submitted chapters 1 and 2. I will go to add restriction because I would like them to submit chapter 3 only after I have received their chapter 1 and chapter 2. This means a student cannot jump a chapter and submit a chapter further ahead without having completed chapters that should have been done prior. And I will click on activity completion. This option only comes up if you've already assigned students to submit chapters 1 or 2. Okay? If you haven't yet given them any chapter to submit, this option will not come up. Okay? In this case, I have the option, so I will click on activity completion, and it gives me 2 options. At this point, I will be saying they should have submitted thesis chapter 2, okay, before they can submit chapter 3. I am just waiting for it. Okay, so there's thesis chapter 2. That is my first restriction. The second restriction I will put has to do with the group. I'm only interested in submissions from my group, so only my group will see this assignment. So I will look at the options I have there and I will find group. I will click on group. Once you've clicked on group, it gives you the option to choose which group, and I am choosing Team Hamwemba. Okay, I will leave it at those 2 restrictions and move on to the next option, which is activity completion. Under activity completion, there's completion tracking. It gives you 3 options. Do not indicate activity completion. Students can manually mark the activity as completed, or show activity as complete when conditions are met. I would choose the 3rd option. Okay, so I can require that students view this activity before it is completed. That can be enabled. I can require that the work should have already been graded. In this case, I will not, because they are submitting chapters. Student must submit to this activity to complete it. That is enabled. Okay. Expect it to be completed on a particular date. So I already gave it a due date, and we should stick to the due date. The due date was 15th of April, and so I expect completion on the 15th of April. And you will make sure that the time aligns with what you defined earlier on. I will not bother with the tags, and I will look at the competencies. Under competencies, I'm only interested in, upon activity completion, the student should do nothing if they've completed the activity. And we are done. So we have 2 options there: save and return to course, or save and display. I am choosing save and return to the course. Okay, I am still waiting for the technology to do what it is supposed to do. Okay. At this point, I am calling the IT. IT. Okay. So, it's telling me it cannot save this assignment because it wants me to put a reminder to grade. Okay, so I will just disable that. And let's see if it allows me to go further. Yes, and we're there. So it shows me under topic 3 that we have created an assignment for the thesis, for the thesis chapter 3 to be submitted. It also shows that there are restrictions, that chapter 3 cannot be submitted without chapter 1 and chapter 2, and so forth and so forth. This guide will be made available to you both by virtue of this audio recording or by means of a printout or a handout, whatever you choose to call it. If there are any questions, the IT team is on standby to answer them. I wish you the best as you endeavor to learn how to use Moodle to supervise your students. I am sure it will be an exciting journey. Thank you so much, Eliona, and thank you so much, Mercy Mbewe, for being here with me. And to all of you, stay safe.